Good morning.
Good morning.
I am not Ed. As you can see, there is a stack of Bibles here. I have 5 Bibles, so I hope you all have no place to be the rest of the day. If you've heard me preach before, you know that was a falsehood. So, I gave this last Sunday at Scopus, and when I prepare, I give the sermon to myself 3 times, and then I figure I'm good to give it to somebody else. And last week I gave it to myself 3 times and gave it 3 different versions, and then gave a different version last Sunday. And so yesterday when Bill called and said, Ed's sick, and I said, that's fine, I have this ready, I'll do this. And I worked on it again yesterday, and I gave it to myself 2 different ways, and so I have no clue how this is going to turn out today. But there will be a sermon, and there's going to be a lot of scripture. I've been reading in Proverbs. And Proverbs 14:31, we're going to read that a lot today. So Proverbs 14:31, and I've had this 35 years. When I got baptized here, they gave this to me. So I was reading this out here. And Proverbs 14:31 says, "He who oppresses the poor shows contempt for their maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God." And that really struck me, and I kept reading it, and so then I decided I would read it out of the New American Standard, because that was the NIV. And the New American Standard says, "He who oppresses the poor reproaches his maker, but he was gracious to the needy honors him." So I've got kind, and I've got gracious. And then we go to the King James. And the King James says, "He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker, but he that honoreth him hath mercy on the poor." The first part of this verse and all 3 of these is basically the same. If you're not nice to the poor, you're reproaching God. You are dishonoring God. But if you are honoring God, you're doing something for the poor. And it could be you're kind. And it's the poor, it's the needy. And you could be kind. You could be gracious. You could show mercy. And that's all not the same work. They all have you reproach God if you're not treating the poor correctly. If you're oppressing them, if you're being unkind to them, you're reproaching God. Well, I don't want to reproach God. That's bad. Right? Well, I want to honor God. Well, if you honor God, you are kind, you are gracious, you are showing mercy. Now, it could just be me, but to me that's not all the same thing. And so I looked up the word in Strong's, and I'm not going to pretend to pronounce it in the Hebrew, but if you want to look it up, the Strong's number is 2603. And in the King James, it's mercy. And that means to bend or stoop in kindness to an inferior, to favor, to implore a favor by petition, to be merciful, to have pity. I'm still not 100% at this point, right, in my understanding. But I have grasped something. There's an action required. I am to do something for the poor, and by doing that, I honor God. So then that gets to be, well, what am I doing? And how do I do it? And is this just a New Testament concept? And we know that in the New Testament, if you flip over to James, the 2nd chapter, where everybody goes, and you've probably got this at least half memorized, where James is telling everybody, you got to do something. You can't just say, hey, good luck. So James 2:14, in discussing this issue, James says, "What use is it, my brethren, if a man says he has faith, but he has no works? Can that faith save him?" If a brother or sister without clothing and in need of daily food, and one of you says to them, go in peace, be warmed and be filled, and yet you do not give them what is necessary for their body, what use is that? Even so faith, if it has no works, is being dead by itself. Well, there's even more to that than, we all get that, we understand that. But in the Greek, it would read more like, what use is it, my brethren, if a man is constantly saying he has faith, but he never has any works? Can that faith save him? And if you read it that way, I got lots of faith, but I never do anything. It says, can that faith save him? And then it's if a brother or sister is always without clothing and daily food. So you got somebody, they don't have anything to wear, they don't have anything to eat, they're hungry, they're naked. And what you say to them one time, is go in peace, always be warm, always have enough to eat. That's what is being said here in James. And then he says, if you don't give them anything, what good is that? What use is that? At that point, you're not honoring the poor. You're not honoring God. You're not being merciful. You're not being kind. You're not being gracious. Because gracious is more than saying, hope everything goes well for you. There's more to it than that. And when he says, so faith, if it has no works, is dead being by itself, is in the form of if it constantly, if there are no works, if there are never any works. Faith is dead, being by itself. So if your faith is dead, you're obviously not pleasing to God. Which gets back to the definition where it obviously implies action. If I'm having mercy on somebody, I got to do something about it. I'm really sorry you're hungry. I'm going to be really empathetic, but I'm going to walk away. That doesn't work. So you have to be doing something. But this isn't just a New Testament concept. And this one is the contemporary English version. And in Leviticus 25, starting in verse 35, Moses wrote, if any of, and this is God speaking, so this is God speaking to Moses, if any of your people become poor and unable to support themselves, you must help them, just as you are supposed to help foreigners who live among you. Don't take advantage of them by charging any kind of interest or selling them food for profit. Instead, honor me by letting them stay where they now live. Remember, I am the Lord your God. I rescued you from Egypt and gave you the land of Canaan so that I would be your God. So here in Leviticus, we've got God saying to Moses, you need to take care of people who are in trouble. And the NIV says, if one of your countrymen becomes poor and is unable to support themselves, and it says the same thing, unable to support themselves. You know that. You're aware of that. It says unable to support themselves. Help him, as you would an alien or temporary resident, to continue to live among you. Do not take interest of any kind from him, but fear your God, so your countrymen may continue to live among you. You must not lend him money at interest or sell him food at a profit. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, to give you the land of Canaan, and to be your God. If you're looking at what God is saying in the Old Testament is, there are people who are legitimately poor. And now remember, at this point in time, there's no social welfare net. In our country, there is. Here, there's nothing. Now, we have HUD to help pay your rent. We have Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, the SNAP, you can do food stamps, so that you can help get food. We have Medicaid, so that if you're poor, you can get some medical attention. But if you look at how these programs work, they are not perfect. For instance, SNAP will buy, you can buy food. You can't buy soap. You can't buy toilet paper. You can't buy toothpaste. There are still things that someone who is unable to support themselves. would need. And so even in our own time, there are people who need help. And help doesn't have to be money. Help can be, I need a ride. Help can be, I need help doing something because I can't afford to hire somebody to do it. There are all kinds of ways we can help people who are poor. And remember, poor doesn't have to be destitute. The examples here are. But they don't have to be. You just can't afford something. And we are enjoined by our God, by our Creator, to help people when they need help. We are, however, instructed not to help people that won't help themselves. 2 Thessalonians 3:10 says, "For even when we were with you, we used to give you this order, if anyone will not work, neither let him eat." Now, the way this would read in the Greek is more like, "For even when we were with you, we used to repeatedly give you this order." So this was something Paul said a lot. If anyone will never work, if they refuse to work, stop feeding them. So we know that anybody that shows up at the building or our house or run into says, "Hey, I need help," you need to be paying attention to, do they really? We often have people show up at the building claiming some great need. They will come Sunday morning or Wednesday evening, but not as often as Sunday evening. Because Sunday evening apparently is the time when you show up. It's a lot harder to verify anything, and my need is immediate. If you don't help me right now, you're a terrible person. And we have to be on guard against that. An example of this was 15 years ago. I met a young man and a young woman at the post office in Cape. And he came up to me and said, "I'm really in a bad way. I'm trying to get back home to Paducah. I've lost my job here. Can you help me?" And I had a little bit of money and I gave it to him. About 10, 12 days later, we were at the building for services and he showed up with the same woman with the exact same story. And I'm thinking, he's in his early 20s, and I'm in my mid-40s, and I could have walked to Paducah in less time than he'd been hanging around Cape. And I pointed that out and wasn't super helpful at that point. About a month later, he came back again with a different woman, but the exact same story. And when I pointed out that this was the third time I'd seen him with the same story, and it had been about 2.5 months since this began, and he could have wandered slowly over to Paducah, and even got there and back if he wanted to on foot. The new woman with him said that was his twin brother. And at that point, my response was, "You can leave now. That we don't need that." But we all know people that need help, legitimately need help. This congregation has done a good job of individuals helping people, buying food, buying school supplies, buying clothes, buying personal hygiene items for families, for children. Not to be distributed to people that come, but to people we know. And we need to continue to do this and remember that when we do this, we are honoring God. He that oppresseth the poor reproaches his Maker, but he that honoreth him as honoring his Maker, has mercy on the poor. We live in a society where we as a group tend to look at people who are unfortunate, I mean society at large, and say you should work harder. You should do better. There was a time when Cheryl and I were working really hard and we were doing better. But we were fortunate we had parents that could help us. But if we hadn't, we'd have been in really bad shape. We got help. We also got help from members of the congregation. We were working real hard. And it's paid off. We now are in a position that we can help other people. But if people hadn't helped us, we might be destitute now. So my point to all this rambling here is that don't help somebody who you know doesn't need it. Because the scriptures are very plain. If you're not going to work, you're going to be hungry. That's not cruel, that's from God. He wants us to work. But there are people who do work, who struggle. Everybody doesn't have the same talent. And I would encourage you, as you reevaluate yourself on a daily basis, are you being selfish with the blessings that the Lord has given you? Or are you using what the Lord God has allowed you to have in this life to show mercy, to show graciousness, to show kindness to those that are less fortunate, and by so doing, honoring your Creator? I would encourage you to seek ways to be generous with your time, with your abilities, with your resources. I can no longer pick up heavy things and help people in that fashion. But I can rent the U-Haul to put the heavy stuff in. What you're able to do changes as you age. But work, because we don't have that much time on this earth. And you never know when by doing some kindness to someone, it may open the opportunity to speak to them about their soul. If you're working really hard at helping folks and not being selfish, but you've never put Jesus on in baptism, you're still lost. And we'd encourage you to do that today. But if you've done that and you have another need, we'd encourage you to let that need be known as we stand and as we sing.
Someday you'll stand at the bar on high. Someday your records you'll sing. Someday you'll answer the question of why. What will your answer be? What will it be? What will it be? Where will you spend your eternity? What will it be? Oh, what will it be? What will your answer be? Sadly you'll stand if you're unprepared. Trembling you'll fall on your knee, facing the sentence of life or of death. What will that sentence be? What will it be? What will it be? Where will you spend your eternity? What will it be? Oh, what will it be? What will your answer be? Now is the time to prepare, my friend. Make your soul spotless and free, washed in the blood of the crucified one. He will your answer be. What will it be? What will it be? Where will you spend your eternity? What will it be? Oh, what will it be? What will your answer be?
Thank you, Mark, for the lesson. Thank you, Jerry, for the song. I want to thank each and every one for your presence today. Would remind you that one year and as any meeting after services and visitors are certainly welcome to stay. Jim, did you have an update on John England? She's made all this come to the door.
Her legs are very weak right now, so we got her home and sitting down and Jane staying with her.
Okay, thank you. Are there announcements to be made before we dismiss? Would you join me in prayer? Our Father in heaven, we're grateful to you for this Lord's Day and the privilege we have of assembling with brothers and sisters in Christ, to worship thee, to remember your Son, Jesus Christ, and to hear your word. Bless each of our lives, Father, and pray that we look to you and your Son, Jesus Christ, and we understand that you, Heavenly Father, are Maker, and we want to glorify your name by being of service to others. Bless each of us, Father, and pray especially for our sick and those that are traveling, and pray that you be with Caleb Buck as he goes to Afghanistan, and pray that he will have a good tour and be able to return home safely. We pray, Father, for Joan, that she will be okay. We pray, Father, that you bless Jessica Atkinson, and she continues her stay in the hospital, and bless her family as well. We pray that you will bless the others that are sick and have had health difficulties, that we all might be able to rejoice with the recoveries. Bless each of us as we look to thee and